in the 90s, I started showing at galleries. Well, I was showing at galleries for quite a while, but the word had gotten around about my exhibits, and I was showing at the downtown Guggenheim with some other artists, and Bob and Rosaire walked in, and they weren't like stormtroopers, but you could tell that they had a definitive way of assessing work, and if the work wasn't up to what didn't match their interests, they went through the gallery pretty quick. And I knew they collected, but they didn't buy anything. And I didn't know a thing about him, so it wasn't a big deal. I didn't know how big a deal he was. Otherwise, it would have been, I think it would have set me back a step or two. But anyway, I did this 2003 catalog for a 30-year show in New York at this gallery, and I sent one to Bob. Bob called me up and said, hey, you still got all the work at your studio for the show? I said, yeah. He said, well, it's gonna come out. And he came out with Rosaire, and he said, I want to see everything. And I thought that was pretty cool because, you know, people come in and they see a wall of mud. I mean, it's a workshop, it's a studio, it's not a gallery, so things are, you know, 30 years of work sitting around, unsold work in progress, and you know, it takes somebody with a pretty discerning eye to go through this, and I remember him saying, you're making it difficult. And I said, why? He said, because you got a lot of good work. So I took everything upstairs, put them up, and then I caught the side of Bob, what do we call it, I guess shrewdness. He said, okay, put prices on them. And I did. And then I had this moment. I said, well, hey, Bob, tell you what, it'd be a shame to break up the family. Why don't you take the whole shooting match? I was just being flippant. He said, all right. And I said, I'll give you 20%. And he goes, is that it? And Rosaire was kind of cute. She looked at me and said, Bob, look at the prices before you start. And Bob went, oh, yeah, and he walked over and said, well, that's not too bad. And he cut me checks, said, just bring them in when you can. And that I mean, you know, for any young artist, I guess it was 45, 50. I wasn't that young, but certainly getting the attention of fine art collectors was something I always had hoped for, but to land the 800-pound gorilla was not something that was on my radar, and it was the start of a wonderful friendship. His perspective on art, ceramics, collecting, and historical relevance, and you know, it was just a fascinating run. And like anything, you hate to see it end, but I'm real happy that Bob got to see the exhibit. I'm sure it's, you know, it's a dream come true and a result of a lifelong love of collecting ceramics, which, you know, you can see the man knew his stuff.